Hello everyone, it's Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Morayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. YK in the building.
Yo. Good morning.
How you doing?
Morning. I'm fine. Getting closer to using my car.
Okay, yes, you got your number plates and stuff.
I got my number plates.
Yay.
You can't wait, I believe.
Now I'm waiting for the insurance.
Interesting. Somebody was interested in the insurance. Wanted to. Said, I would like to help her do a full comprehensive insurance.
Oh.
But I now lost the person's contact.
See your life.
Please get back to Mariah.
Get back to me. You know, I totally lost. It got drowned in all the stuff, so I couldn't find the person.
All the activities.
Yeah. Really? How you doing, YK?
I'm fine. I don't have much to gist about today.
Our president is in town. Lockdown. Everywhere is like...
everywhere is going to be...
Especially that, I think it's Mohammed...
If you don't have to go past...
Yaba.
Or third mainland, just stay in Ikeja, where and be peaceful. Hey. Wow, I cannot even imagine how the traffic is going to be today.
So I had to pick something
up. It even started from yesterday.
I got home at midnight last night because I had ordered some stuff at Ikmori for a souvenir and everything, and I had to go pick it up. I said, if I go tomorrow, forget it. 3 or 9 yesterday, 3 hours between TVC and Maryland. I was in the traffic for 3 hours. Wow. That's in preparation for
No, but
president.
the road is also under construction within that same axis now. So there's really
that
traffic in that place.
But there's
just complicated it more.
So that one is double wahala for dead body.
But you know something? We're telling government that if you want to repair roads, repair at night. And they've actually started. So yesterday night, I got home at midnight. Why? Because there was traffic. They're actually fixing the roads. All the lights came up. You see the tractors. You see that work is going on. So I couldn't yap them because I think
I don't think that was the main. It was in preparation for
the president.
And for the visits. And I think Nigerian presidents, they should always think about the situation in Lagos when they are coming. Either they just land by helicopter and save us the stress of traffic.
So many aids.
Or do virtual. Or, just think of our own plights. Our own traffic.
It's just one day.
Because Jonathan used to do it too. Every time Jonathan was coming that time,
everywhere
would just be sending curses.
How are you doing, Tokwe?
I'm fine. I'm grateful to God for life. So apparently my short rant yesterday, some of my people saw it. My customers saw it, and they felt like I was talking to them, and it wasn't actually them. The rant yesterday that you were looking at me about people that are that have been cheated and are now worried. So yesterday I was going to site. I was beaten by sun. I was beaten by rain. As I was getting back home, I said, that means if rain has beaten you, sun beats you, literal terms, then hunger must not beat you, joy. So I just looked to heaven. I have sun beats, rain beats, hunger. None of my generation must hunger beat. And I said the same thing to some of the people that came because I knew that they really came through stress to be able to venture into this real estate. They are trying to see the sites and all of that, and it was really a stressful process for them. And I was praying it eagerly this morning that they will not suffer based on it because it was really stressful. But there's a journey. As we saw Aka on the show this morning, and we're just like, but we saw the journey too.
My brother went to the market yesterday. Rain beat her. She will not allow us to go and do shopping for her. She wants to go to the market by herself. My mother-in-law, she wants to go by herself. The meat is not good enough. The effort is not good enough. She has to go and buy it. Yesterday, rain
She's just used to it.
I just said,
no, but I think that based on this one, she will not probably go again.
Sounded like, can you imagine? That sounds like you enjoy the fact that rain beats her.
No, of course.
I don't get you.
No. What I'm saying is that we would like to go and shop for my mother. She would not like to shop for her.
She likes to do her things
She wants to do it herself. So now, yesterday, I heard the
rain was really bad yesterday. Because it was bad the day before as well.
I couldn't even see as I was driving. It was really bad. It was really bad.
I'm doing great.
I love what you're wearing.
Thank
you.
So
me.
I think that dress is really nice.
You're going to pass this on, honey.
No problem. I got you.
The dress is nice. The belt,
everything works.
What's happening?
How was the birthday party?
The birthday was cool. The birthday was good.
How was the action after?
No, there was no action.
Well, national television,
me there because there was no action, but I planned to treat him. The house was full, so there was no need to lock door and baby will not come and be knocking. Daddy, Mommy, I was not in that space. But I will compensate him this weekend.
Staycation
I have my
something.
plans already.
Amen.
Amen to
So
that.
since YK asked that question, can we ask YK, how was
your
the night after?
You know you
Since
were
you're asking
but let's
questions.
people ask about what happened
night,
How was it?
we slept off.
Yeah, I know that night they will sleep off.
would have been
But
tired.
a cool hotel.
YK power.
I hope this is inspiring all the 60-year-olds out there. This is how you should be balling at 60. Yeah.
Cool hotel was fantastic.
Don't say it again.
Holy Spirit, help me when I'm 60. Let me be bubbly like YK.
Some monkey in the shadow moves. I trust you.
Monkey in the shadow, dragon in the system. Everything.
Jesus Christ of Nazareth.
Today is Thursday.
We're not doing the show again. YK, this matter you started, you will finish it. You will tell us how from start to finish. I'm just joking. Let's go on a break.
SPC, the letter is passed to
We
the
didn't say anything. We didn't say anything.
Let's go on a break. What is in town? Let's be serious, please.
my
I don't
God.
want detention.
I don't understand.
Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Government, Twitter must register, pay taxes to have a chance. NJC panel to monitor governors' compliance with judicial autonomy. Obasanjo dismisses secession agitation. Inspector General to policemen, don't allow hoodlums take over your stations. Onaye consultant urged Nigerians to embrace peace. Made in Nigeria phone unveiled in Abuja. So Twitter,
Yes, I have the story. Yes. So the government yesterday listed conditions that must be fulfilled by the United States firm for a service to be allowed again in Nigeria. And one of the things it said is that the firm must be registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission, that's CAC. It should obtain a license from to be able to operate in the country from the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, and it must pay taxes to the Nigerian government. It said they also need to promise not to lend their platform to people who want to destabilize the country. And
they also listed their sins.
yes, they said yes. They said one of the things, one of the reasons they got into this was because let me just get it here.
Because he had said that
They had to
There were three things.
Yes, they say first of all they supported the NSAS movement by providing funds through that platform. They have agitators and secessionist groups that use that platform to preach their messages to their people to cause mayhem, especially with the burning of the police and affecting
And failure to
security
take down
officials.
Kanu's offensive tweets.
Yeah, right here.
despite repeated requests to do so.
Yeah.
So they are saying that they had
They
been
requested.
reporting
Kanu's
Kanu's
tweets.
tweets, and Twitter
they
didn't. And he actually made an allegation to against the Twitter, the founder of Twitter, said John Dorsey, Jack Dorsey, whatever his name is, that he personally funded the NSAS. So I wonder, I would like to hear from.
Yeah,
I'll
a
take
quick
the,
addition, please, before we go. They are also saying that all the other social media platforms are going to be taking,
Same thing.
getting all of this license to be able to function in Nigeria.
I want to quickly take the story of bandits and the NDLEA. We've been emphasizing their story. So what they found out that there's a bandit supplier, like there are two men, Okwo Ejiofor, 31-year-old, Bala Mohammed, 33-year-old. These two people are alleged to have been supplying, or they were caught with different types of drugs. They were caught with 7 kg of codeine, diazam of 6 kg, Exol of 10 kg, and they were going to the Shiroro market. That there's a market around Shiroro in Niger State. And remember that they took over a large portion of Shiroro, the forest area, and that some bandits used to come to that market to shop. And these two men were going to sell drugs to bandits. Also in Delta State, they found a 20-year-old boy, Chukwu Jeku Lucky, at Ugwashi-Oku local government area of Delta State, with multiple drugs weighing 38 kilograms found with him. They found in his apartment, and this boy is a 20-year-old boy. I'm happy about, I'm deliberately naming it. Well, on this show, we'll be naming these people found with drugs so that we can know, those that are still carrying drugs around, we know that when they are caught, we would mention it on the show, they would be arrested, they would be embarrassed. Right. We must stop this.
Okay, I was going to talk about our Made in Nigeria phone unveiled. Yes, so the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumbani Adebayo, yesterday presented to the President a phone, the name is ITF Mobile. Hey, ITF Mobile was produced by the Electrical and Electronics Technology Department of the Industrial Training Fund's ITF Model Skills Training Center, which is, I think, is a program under the ministry, and says 12 indigenous mobile cell phone produced by the Mobile Skills Training Center of the ITF is an agency under the Ministry of Industry. It says it gives them great pleasure to present to the President the phones, and I don't know if when it's going to be ready for the market, but at least these were made, all the components of this phone were locally sourced.
I'm still worried about all the components because, well, all the phones,
why are you worried?
All the phones that we use, they have different companies that have patented a lot of the technology that we're using. You can't, like, you have to buy it from them or source it from them.
So maybe the software you're talking about, not the hardware. The hardware might be what they're talking about. We're not sure yet.
So let's...
Bad boys can do that.
You know that's what is that thing they use that they get from Congo to make phones?
Yeah, cobalt.
Is it cobalt? I'm sure we can get it here.
Yes, we definitely.
I said bad boys will make this phone. People should relax.
Okay, moving on now to the Punch. NBA readies 13-member legal team. Lai Pantami lead talks with Twitter. Pastor herbalist, 3 others arrested with human parts. Police dodge questions as suspected herdsmen abduct 4 rape lady in Ekiti. I am not surprised by the husband's death, says TB Joshua's widow. Judiciary workers suspend strike, berate El Rufai, Autumn and Lalong. Buhari inaugurates Lagos-Ibadan train service security facilities today. Obasanjo carpet secession agitators, describes disintegration calls as idiotic. Okay, let's start with the human interest story. The pastor and the herbalist, who has that story?
Yeah, the State Commissioner of Police says they were acting on intelligence and they arrested 4 people. A pastor, the pastor's name is Olagunju Adetunji, and a herbalist and 2 others. They were found with hands, human hands and human legs. They were already decayed. Apparently, they had killed a young boy called Kehinde. He was a security guy. I think the herbalist was a security guard, and he shot him and then gave his parts to the pastor and the others. Now they've been caught with it. They've been paraded. The herbalist explained that he gave the head to Adetunji. Adetunji is denying that he received any head. So
okay, it's painful.
Let me take the Buhari. Okay, go ahead.
The other human interest story said government suspected to be Fulani headsmen on Tuesday invaded a hotel in Ayetoro, Ekiti State, and according to the story, said they kidnapped 4 people. They came in, about 30 of them, heavily armed, came in bikes and started shooting sporadically in the air, and everybody scattered. They used machete on the security guard, then raped a lady and abducted 4 persons. Amoteco got wind of what was happening and raced down there. By the time they got there, they had finished their activity and left. But Amoteco said they are not sure if there was anybody kidnapped, but they saw that a lady was raped and a security guard was macheted, and he's currently receiving treatment in the hospital. But the police hasn't said anything about what has happened so far.
All right, so let me see.
They said the police have kept quiet.
Let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue with the review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So President Buhari is in Lagos, and he'll be commissioning 2 projects under the Ministry of Transportation. First, he's going to inaugurate the commercial operation of the Lagos-Ibadan rail line in Ebutimeta. I think that's at the Mobolaji Johnson Railway Station. And then moving on to Apapa, I hope he sees Nima's neighborhood. Apapa, as it proceeds to ENL Terminal, where it's scheduled to inaugurate the Integrated National Maritime Security and Waterways Protection Infrastructure, Deep Blue assets. So I'm hoping that he will be reminded of the urgent need to help decongest all the trailers and all the
they could have cleared everything before it gets there.
Apparently, it has been cleared, though.
That's the fake.
Yes, that's it. He won't see. He won't know
They
the
will
problems
clear everything because it won't see the impact of what's going on. Yes.
He won't see it. He will not see the go slow that people experience going to Apapa.
Please let me take, before we move on, 4 West African countries to buy Nigerians idle electricity. I didn't know we have idle electricity. I thought that we were still under, a large chunk of our population is still getting barely 12 hours of power supply, according to the story I took last week. But there is a West African power pool, and the executive board, Sule Abdulaziz, said on Wednesday that there would be a pool of power supply that will be given to Niger, Togo, Benin, and Burkina Faso, and that is to our advantage because we are selling the power to them. This project is going to be costing generating companies of Nigeria about $570 million. But I think we need power in Nigeria first. Let's sort that out.
And we don't transmit, but we are having issues with
distribution.
Moving on to Daily Sun. Twitter reaches out to FG to end impasse. June 12th, presidency to air documentary in honor of Abiola as 1993 elections winner. Rise up, provide leadership, Anglican Bishop tells Uzodimma. TB Joshua's family seeks Lagos government's participation in pastor's burial. IPOP alleges extrajudicial killing in Southeast. COVID-19 FG issues travel advisory to Brazil and Turkey. Shelf calls for Nigeria's disintegration, Obasanjo tells agitators. And Johnson assumed to suspend 2-month-old strike. Okay, BC, which was story
Anglican Archbishop of the Ecclesiastical Province of Owerri, David Onoha, has been calling on the governor, Hope Uzodimma of Imo State, that he should show fatherly leadership and ensure that the peace returns to the state of Imo. And he also said that what we need to be able to solve the issues that we have right now is more like a patriotic think tank. And that means that the force that the federal government is showing is not what is encouraging people to feel enslaved. That's clampment that happens in that side of the country is making it very difficult for the elders to call the young ones to a round table and understand what is going on, that the government needs to find another strategy to be able to handle the issues that are happening in the Southeast, basically. So
I'll take the TB Joshua story.
Okay.
A delegate from the Lagos State governor went to visit TB Joshua's late TB Joshua's wife on a condolence visit. Remember that TB Joshua passed on a few days back, and the widow, addressing them, said that she's not surprised about what happened. She knows that her husband always says there's the time for everything, and he was going to continue to do the work of God until he's called home, and that he did service that day and later passed on. But he appealed to the governor to be personally involved with the burial arrangements. He said, according to her, she was asking that if she wanted the governor's participation during the proceedings. I didn't understand what the breakdown of what the governor's participation would do or what it would mean, but she just appealed because she had access to him.
Any story?
The IPOB are accusing the Nigerian security of killing their youth. They said that they are going to cult members thinking that they are ESN. Is it ESN?
ESN, yes.
And they're just taking them, catching them, killing them. And that they should please stop killing them. That they, ESN, they are in the forests trying to catch headsmen. So if it's ESN they are looking for, they should come and meet them in the forest.
Let them catch the headsmen together.
In a related story also, I think the police also did a press release saying that after the death of Dragon, which is one of the leaders of the IPOB ESN, they had actually invaded the bushes and killed, I think, about 10 or so of them. I think I have that story somewhere. In the bushes, although the community fled, and they said they should please stop raising their houses and burning up all the various properties. But they were saying that they had actually gone in there to clear the various camps belonging to the ESN, trying to stop and quell the crisis that is happening in the southeastern states.
They can go inside that forest. Why can't
Why
they go
don't
inside
they
your
catch the
forest in the
headsmen
northeast?
directly?
There was a story about Obasanjo, our former president, was saying, and I thought was important. He was saying that at his investiture as a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Surveyor, organized at his library, he was saying that if there's any Nigerian that doesn't think that what is happening if there's any Nigerian that doesn't understand what's happening, that person's not a human being. According to him, let me quote him exactly. He said that one thing that gives us strength is our diversity. If all that we have is Republic of Oduduwa for those who said so, that position is understandable. That is all we have. That in this time and age, that we are trying and talking about the reintegration of Africa economic development, disintegration of any country would be almost idiotic. And he was saying that we're better when we're diverse but together. So that unity in diversity is what we need, not disintegration at this time.
Yeah, he also gave examples of Pakistan, Yugoslavia, Sudan, and India, countries that decided to break away. He said they are not even better for it today. They were not able to resolve the crux of the matter. They still have their issues even after they had broken away. We just need to resolve the issues and stay together stronger.
Did he make them better?
Yeah, it did make them better.
Okay, moving on now to Vanguard. Twitter reached out, 6 top-level talks, says Lai Mohammed. Residents flee as troops raid ESN camps in Imo. NIN jammed to conduct mop-up exam for 17,758 late applicants. Johnson suspends 2-month strike, orders members to resume work on Monday. Nigeria's public debt stock now 33.107 trillion, says DMO. And Twitter ban why Jack Dorsey is unfazed. Okay. Which story are we taking in Vanguard?
Could do the Judicial Staff Union.
Yes, please.
In Nigeria. So they've suspended their strike. They've given directive that work resumes on Monday. We understand that they were fighting for financial autonomy. That was one of the reasons they went on the strike in the first place. But they said they were able to, suspend the strike because the Chief Justice of Nigeria intervened, and also the National Judicial Council called them together and said, okay, let's give these people time. But they are still hoping for more discussions to find a way to actually get that financial autonomy. And they were complaining that there were some states that did not pay their staff. I saw the name of the states now. Okay, yeah. So governors of Kaduna, Plateau, and Bayelsa states withheld the salaries of their members. So they are asking them to pay them. They are going to shield their swords for a bit and see how they resolve.
They said they've given them 2 months, I think.
Yes, 2 months.
So Amotekun Bubiago are going to be getting legal backing as the reps consider a state security bill. So as part of the constitutional amendments going on, there is a bill that is being reviewed by the House of Representatives concerning state policing, and the bill would formalize the regional security structure, Ibubiago, Amotekun, instituted by different regions to tackle insecurity. And one of the things the bill would also deal with is to ensure that governors cannot use this security outfit to persecute their political opponents, that the state and local government outfit or vigilantes would be structured so they won't have the right of prosecution as well. So they will still have to follow the judiciary to do prosecution. They would just be a security arm. So I'm looking forward to this being implemented as part of the constitutional review, because it will really help.
I have the story again that I took earlier about the invasion of the police, and let me just correct that very quickly. So what happened was that it was 10 houses that were razed, not 10 people, and that they were able to rescue one police officer who was arrested, and they rescued that one alive, and that person that was rescued was one that led them to where the camp was, and they were able to make some arrests.
Should we take the Malami story? Malami was speaking concerning the Twitter, that federal government is not after religious leaders for tweeting, but those aiding Twitter to flout the ban. So he also mentioned the fact that it is within guaranteed fundamental rights to tweet from anywhere in the world. Nigeria, being a democratic nation, cannot stop its citizens from exercising their rights to freedom, but they are opposed to those within the country that are also still tweeting.
Final paper, Nigerian Tribune.
I saw 2 tweets. I think it was El Rufai and somebody else that tweeted.
They said they tweeted to check to be sure that you're not tweeting.
They can check. They can catch you.
But, no, I can't understand because some people are tweeting. Even me, yesterday, because I have this, I posted something on Instagram and I just pressed the tweet and it went.
Oh, really?
You went?
But I can't go to Twitter.
I know you can't.
But it went. So I said, I hope they don't come and arrest me.
You tweeted.
Final paper, Nigerian Tribune, protest again as Buhari represents Onoche as INEC commissioner.
Yeah.
Obasanjo to Nigerians, shunned agitation for disintegration. Reps move to legalize state security outfits. Let's find another story of not taking. FEC okays 895.5 billion naira supplementary budget for procurement of military equipment. Makinde resuscitates Gari processing factory built by Awolowo in 1972. And National Assembly can enact new constitution, says Afe Babalola. YK, please tell me you have a INEC commissioner's story.
They've represented her again, but this time as the commissioner for Delta State. And of course, Abaribe has kicked because apparently she's the PA or SA to the president.
Yes, now.
Directly to the president. And it's supposed to be an independent
Position.
So why are you...
this?
So he says he's agreeing reluctantly. He's seconding the motion reluctantly, but he must voice his... And he said...
If there's anybody that's been controversial,
It's Loretta.
it's Loretta.
Yeah,
She's like one of the most controversial special assistant
we've
president
ever known.
Since, because she's all constantly attacking, instead of managing situations, there's a way she attacks on Twitter. So, and now if you're having somebody who obviously has an emotional
Attachment to a particular party.
She lacks emotional intelligence a lot of times. In the way she conveys the messages sometimes.
It's not
That
an
kind of
insult.
person
It can be dealt with.
It's not appropriate to be an INEC chairman.
She cannot be fair. So she should have even been discountenanced from the beginning.
I feel it's wrong for the team that is pushing her. That it's wrong for you to even consider
The Senate
her.
should have discountenanced
Why
her.
they even interviewing her?
Since.
It is
This is a hot
very,
topic.
very hot.
Abaribe, he
Very
said,
annoyingly hot.
he gave a quote while he was saying this thing is not right. He says, avarice, our people say, is not when we have passed the evil forest that the demon will catch us.
It will.
Maybe you can
Explain it.
explain it. Please let Obiajulu explain
I
that
need
one.
to understand what it means. It's not when you have passed the
Because I
forest.
can't understand it. too.
Me, self, I don't.
So, I mean, let me just be sure that we're on the same page. We're not saying that she's a bad person. We're just saying that we've seen her emotional outbursts on Twitter.
Yes.
And
She
obviously
doesn't
she can be
seem
very
objective.
partisan.
Yeah.
So because of that, she doesn't look like the appropriate person for this role that's supposed to be independent. Therefore, the people are asking that this should be reconsidered.
Can we have somebody else?
Can we have somebody else that can be nominated?
And the name of that INEC is Independent
Yes.
National Electoral. That's Independent National Electoral Commission.
she's clearly not
dependent. Yes, so we want to change the name now.
Dependent.
Then they can put us.
Okay.
Then we know that, okay.
That's all we can take on this segment. It's Thursday. You know, these days we just like to... But Harry's in town. Be serious, though. I know it's Thursday.
I
But
don't
please,
understand.
arrange yourself. Arrange
Should we
yourself.
start dancing?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So join us on the show now to discuss the insecurity in the Southeast. He's a Nigerian professor and a former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Maurice Iwu. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good to have you, sir.
Good morning.
So we are quite concerned about all that is happening in the Southeast. And we know that recently you spoke saying that everybody in the Southeast must take responsibility because all citizens have fallen short because they've been quiet most of the time. Now, as we are today, many people feel quite unsafe going to the Southeast or even those living in the communities. In your view, what can the governor begin to do to get peace back into the state going forward?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, first of all, we really feel very sad that our normally quiet zone and very quiet state has become almost a theater of war. We really regret and condemn completely the unnecessary loss of lives. If people died in a proper war, then that would be understandable. But to be at your own home and then suddenly get killed, or the military and police people who are doing their normal official duties and we are being hacked to death, that is really, really very bad. What is happening in the South is because of the relativity. Southeast is usually very calm. So because of the relativity, it seems as if the place is falling. But when you look in terms of actual numbers, nothing is really too bad now in the Southeast. It just happened that because it's a relatively quiet place, people are concerned that this is not us. We are really alarmed at what's happening in the Southeast. Right. And our own approach is to be able to look at the root causes. That is why the IMO Economic Development Initiative, which is an umbrella body that has almost most of the big players in the industry that are for IMO State, the academia, the former, those who are in the civil service at a certain level, and retired military personnel, they are all part of the IMO Economic Development Initiative. The idea here is for us to galvanize our rank and file and be able to bring in private sector investment in the state. As we noted earlier, the three segments of development that we know, politics is very important, but the two others, namely economy and information, they are actually in the private hands. So if we can have a good political structure, then we can be able to advance our state further through the economic input from our own citizens and so on.
Right. Okay, Professor Morris, I would like to know exactly the steps the Southeast governors are taking to quell the situation in the Southeast. A few weeks back, they promised that they were going to have a conversation, a roundtable talk with young people to get their grievance and find a way forward. But so far, I haven't heard anything like that. Is that plan still in progress?
Our approach is slightly different. There is leadership and there is authority. The governors here, they have authority, but leadership is on our own shoulders. So what we have started to do is to be able to design an elaborate program to be able to rejig the entire system. The governors are doing consultations with their people as we speak. But the onus is on all the people who are actually in the positions of being leaders in our communities. One big thing that happens for you to be able to have influence without any authority is the best thing that can happen, so that it can appeal to people all across the rank and file. Yesterday, we had a Zoom meeting. Imolites from all over the world tuned in, and they were bashing us, they were cursing us, they were abusing us. Good. And if they didn't abuse us at that age, then something was definitely wrong. When they are young, they're supposed to be radical. They're supposed to be able to challenge the system. They're supposed to interrogate whatever we say. And that we welcome. It is then for us to now profile solutions and which we are profiling. This matter that we are suffering now was actually years of neglect by the successive governments, not just one government. Yeah. We did shout 5 years ago when the governor, Rochas Okorocha, was in government, that the situation where Imo State was 34 out of 36 in the ease of doing business was not good enough. A situation where we had such high unemployment was not good enough. All that was needed was a trigger, and the trigger was provided by these recent events. And then the people just went on to start killing themselves and also being killed by outsiders, which is the sad thing about it. The social media has not also helped. 3/4 of the news you read in social media are all false. People stay in their bedrooms and concoct stories and post. So what we are saying is actually that, yes, it's easy for us to sit back and blame the governors, but those days are gone. We are exaggerating the nation state. The days of authority and hand down the colonial mentality, those days are gone. We are in the modern era, for goodness sake. You can actually govern from your bedroom. You'll be able to communicate with people and tell them what is right and what is wrong, and be able to influence people by sheer logic, not by power, not by authority. So we are taking the power, taking our own security in our own hands.
Professor, I want us to touch on the macro issues that many people in the Southeast are agitating about, especially issue of long-term marginalization, secession, neglect. Now, these are issues that goes across the entire region. In your view, as we're trying to quell the tension in Imo, what can be done to have a conversation with the federal government to see exactly a unified position of the agitators and the people that are being governed? What exactly is our position as Southeasterners? What do we want? What's the best case scenario in this situation?
Freedom is one of those zero-sum games that people cannot take any substitute for it. People want to be free. But freedom does not necessarily mean that people are going to be outside the list. We are living in a civilized society where governance and rule of law is paramount. For example, if we don't have the police people in our midst, we will be lost. We will actually be in greater danger. So what is happening now that there are some very legitimate grievances and some are perceived. And sometimes we all have children and grandchildren. Sometimes it's just perception and how you treat the child. If, for example, you give a child a particular notice that please go out or come home before 6 o'clock, you don't need to put the person on a list. The child, invariably, because you have been able to give him some trust, will be able to behave the way you want. But if you now take a cane and sit at the door, sit down, the child will divide the way of going outside you. So there are perceived grievances, there are some real grievances. But the point we are making, for some reason, I don't know how it has not sunk into some people's head, that the way some people are going about it through violence, you cannot achieve that particular objective through violence. And that is the key, that you need to negotiate. How about, even if you are not negotiating and you are talking to somebody who is not listening? Luckily for us, in the Southeast, we are gifted with that entrepreneurial spirit. We will survive even if we are not getting our own due share. It's not enough for us to kill ourselves because we are being discriminated against. I don't even see the logic. It doesn't make sense at all. Yes, we have grievances, legitimate grievances, but the way out of it is for us to now look inwards. Luckily for us, as I said, we have very smart people, entrepreneurs, and so on. And I also look, sorry to sound like this, but when you look across the entire country, I've traveled far and wide. The Southeast is still the place where you have the highest quality of life because our people are self-sustaining. We can take care of ourselves. So yes, it's good for governance, but the government, we are fighting about something that is anachronistic. The days of nation state are gone. What is important is what skills do you have? What can you offer to the table, and so on. So what we are more interested in the macro level is to be able to empower our children, to be able to empower our people so they can compete with the rest of the world. Now we have the African Union going into African free trade. Our sons are in Ghana, Kenya, and so on. We want them to be able to have skills they can transfer and be able to trade with the rest of the world. That is the so still fighting about something that is gone and going is, to me, is a waste of time and human life that have been lost.
All right.
What we need now is for us all to come together and then move forward.
All right, let me go on a quick break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we still have Professor Maurice Ihu with us. Yes, Toko, you had a question before the break.
Yes, so Professor, you mentioned earlier that the leadership is not a power issue. It's the people. But we've seen that the issue on ground so far is based on the fact that people have lacked leadership in the right context. And suddenly, someone else stepped in the gap in person of Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB and created the drama we are seeing playing out in loss of lives across many states within the Southeast, in burning of police stations, burning of INEC offices across many states within the Southeast, in the breaking of jails. So if change cannot happen until you take responsibility, I believe that the governors within the states, the House of Representatives, the senators must take responsibilities for their lack of leadership, being what has led to there being a vacuum in communicating with the people about your plans and the fact that you care and the fact that you are working tenaciously towards them, so that there will be no need for someone else to come into the scene and take that space. Do you see a leadership responsibility crisis within the Southeast at the elms of affairs that is what has caused the problem now? And do you think that it is the people that will solve the problem are not the leaders that will still come and take responsibility for their issues and then let people know that we have failed you, we will step up and take responsibility now.
Yeah, I said that earlier. The governors do have a role to play, but their role is being exaggerated. We own our zone, we own our state. Nnamdi Kanu may be very influential. He may have filled a gap, as you rightly said. But the whole problem is multifaceted. There are some local players who are also taking advantage of what is happening to advance their own political causes. That is something we cannot forget. There are also some people who are also on the federal side who are not living up to their terms of engagement, the rules of their own discipline. So it's a whole multiplicity of things. Then there's also the frustrated youth. That's where we take full responsibility that we have failed them. Because if we, for example, 8 years ago, when this matter started, we had insisted, when the Imo Economic Development Initiative was formed, for example, the whole idea was to be able to wrestle the governor at the time down and tell him, no, you cannot go like this. Can you even imagine that even the federal intervention funds, we didn't even draw from them in that time. So in 2007, we had enough. 2017, rather, we had enough. We now had to go to the government. That time it was seen as if we were trying to oppose them. No. Luckily for us so far, the group that we have been able to interact with the governments that have come and gone. We were very tight with Rocha's Okorocha. Last time when Emeka Nyedoha was in government, we had about 12 or so of our own members who were part of that government. But what we do, once you're in government, you take a leave, and once you finish, then you come back. Because we are so committed in the private sector-led development. This is the only thing that is sustainable. During the time of COVID-19, for example, the only laboratory we had in the Southeast was done by a private person in Imo State. And all we did from our own point is to make sure that he got the machines he needed, got licensing and so on, so that he was able to test people for COVID-19. So back to your question, yes, it is a gap that was being cynically exploited. Cynical is the word, because as I said, there is no way violence can get them anything that they are asking for.
Right.
There is no way any government anywhere in the world will allow you to terrorize these people and not react.
Okay.
So I agree with you to an extent, but the rule of the governors has been exaggerated. Right. We are the leadership, we are the people. We take full responsibility for what has happened in the past, and we have plans to make sure that those things are taken care of.
All right, let me get a few more questions in for you. Go ahead, YK.
Yeah, I want to deviate from this a little, but before I do, I just want to ask, the Igbos, they suffered during the last war, and
yes,
the people of your age, my age, would not want a repeat of that.
yes.
How come this wasn't communicated to the younger ones? So that what is happening now could have been, because Igbos are the most enterprising people, I think, in my own estimation, in Nigeria. And because of that was as a directly from the war, because they decided to be independent. So Igbos are financially independent, really. How did your own generation not communicate this to the younger ones?
Let me correct one impression that is fast gaining ground. We are not saying that there shouldn't be war because of what happened in 1967, 1968 to 1970. No, let nobody make that mistake. It's not based on fear of what happened. The dynamics are totally different. So let nobody in Nigeria fool himself that the Southeast will now be able to suffer worse than they did before. No, no, no. That impression should go out from anybody's mind. The fact that war does not pay, not because we have suffered before, so we don't want that. No, we can't embed that kind of fear on our children. That would be cowardice. What we are saying that war itself is not a good thing. It does not matter whether you are in a tactical advantage now. Those advantages erode and disappear within no time. You may think that you have all the tactical advantages to be able to wage a war. At the end of the day, a war that is fought in your territory, you can never win, because at the end of the day, the damage you have to repair, the damage is yours, the psychological trauma is there to be able to last with you for a long time. So ours is on a very empirical level. That war itself is not something we have tested. It is not a way to use.
So let me then ask you a very
not from point of view of the Southeast that suffered before, don't suffer again. No.
Okay.
There are certain conditions that affect people today. They have no other choice, but we don't want to go there. So let no Nigerian ever think that one particular sector will be spared. It doesn't happen. The dynamics of 2021 is different, totally different from 1967.
Right.
So let nobody.
Okay. Point taken, sir. But let me ask you this very direct question, because many elder statesmen have reiterated the need to renegotiate our relationship across board. So many are saying we need to jettison the current constitution and go back to the 1963 constitution, saying that we must go back to the drawing board. Do you agree? Do you share this sentiment, or are you on the side of complete and total secession?
I'm not in favor of secession. Neither do I get too much involved in direct politics. I remember I told that there are three segments or three fundamental pillars to development. One is politics. The other two are economy and then information. I have for a long time removed myself completely from the partisan politics, that is. But the other two is where I'm actively involved, namely, how do we restore our people's self-determination in terms of economic power? How do we help them to be able to be in the information age? Now what we have is informatics. The age of informatics is so important that whoever has data has life. Whoever is able to create platform that people can use, the person can be able to do a lot of things. My only two group that we manage, we're able to do research projects for Americans and Europeans and so on. Not because that they are not able to do it in their places, but because they believe that we can do it smarter and better. And that's why they are actually asking for our help. So I'm more interested in the other two segments. The political aspect, if Nigerians want to have it done one way or the other, I'm all for it. But the point I'm making that the nation state is an anachronistic idea. It has gone. So the whole idea of wasting a lot of time in those debates, to me, is a waste of time, because the critical thing is empower our youth, because we have to make preparation for next generation Nigerians. And that is the thinking that governs my mind. And what it means that we have to make sure that our graduates come out from graduate school being able to have skills that they can trade with the rest of the world. It doesn't matter whether you're able to reduce yourself to Abia State, Sokoto State, or being one country or the other. It doesn't really matter. Okay. But at the end of the day, Africa is not doing well, and we should be able to remove those shackles from ourselves, self-imposed shackles. Those debates, to me, are actually wagging the dog. When people have no idea, they start all these arguments about political issues because they are bereft of ideas. We should lift our world, we should lift Africa beyond where we are. And that is the excuse they are using in action, is all these debates.
All right, very well.
Okay, so Professor, I want to find out your view concerning the chairman of Ebubagu that recently resigned. He alleged that the governors had not come together to provide funds for the security outfits. Now, what's the hope that this, at the inception, somebody's already resigning? What hope do we have that they will be able to solve the issues in the southeast?
It was very unfortunate that General Omahi resigned, but again, that's what I was telling you earlier. We are violating the whole idea of the authorities in terms of the governors and so on. Yes, they are very important, but they are not the leadership alone. The leadership is all of us, and there could have been way out of that, which I don't want to get into now. But the issue there is that we have a lot more going for us because of our tradition and customary ways of doing things. It will be difficult for anybody to come to the Southeast because of our way of doing things and do some of those mayhem and get away with it. You can see that all the destruction that's going on is mainly very cheap targets. You go to police stations, people who are supposed to be guarding us, you go and attack them and so on. But the way our family structure, the way we live, is difficult for you. We don't have that kind of forest you have in the Northwest or the Southwest. We don't have that kind of forest in the Southeast. So we have a different security issue. And our customary method of doing things, we check those things. As I say, it's unfortunate that the general resigned, but he shouldn't have resigned because of the governors. Governors are not the states. We are the people. Right. And he shouldn't have forgotten that.
Okay.
So I totally disagree with resigning.
Anyway.
Yeah, excuse me, sir. You said in your statement that you are not partisan and you are you used to be with the Independent National Electoral. But now they are giving it a national commissioner to somebody who is obviously partisan. What's your opinion?
No opinion whatsoever. That's again politics. Thank you.
All right, on that note, okay, any questions?
No, sir.
Right.
No
okay, so on that note, thank you very much, sir. So you don't want to mention on Loretta's nomination?
That
nomination.
That hints partisanship, sir. For a non-partisan person, sir.
You say, is this part? I didn't get the question again.
It hints your unwillingness to give an opinion on the fact that Loretta is being nominated to be commissioner for INEC in a state. The fact that you don't want to give opinion might seem partisan.
From a purely patriotic point of view, if my opinion is sought by government, I will give my opinion. But my opinion has not been sought. If it is based on my experience in the place and all that, what INEC does and is doing very well, INEC is quite technical. It's a robust organization. And if you bear that in mind, then most of these super layers and so on, they don't really have much power. As I said, the role of even the chairman of INEC is, again, not properly understood by a lot of people. The people who do the work are mainly the technocrats, and they are doing a very good job. Not really appreciated, but they are really doing a good job. So if, in terms of appointments, if my opinion is sought, I will. And it's usually not based because I worked there before. It will really be wrong for me to make public comments about, about the organization.
That's understood, sir. Understood. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
All right, let's go on a break. Let's go on a break now. We'll come back. The hottest news that would have been on Twitter, but now it's on Instagram. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So recently a video surfaced online where two female Nigerian celebrities, Tiwa and Seyi Shay, engaged in a heated exchange at a hair salon. This encounter was purportedly stemmed out of from a long-standing beef between both adults. And this issue never left social media. Now, the question is, how do we resolve a long-standing rivalry or crisis? As usual, the ladies of Your View don't like talking about people because, listen, we're all women and we're here to support each other. So our focus is not so much on these two personalities. Our focus is if there's a long-standing beef with somebody who you allegedly speak about, backbite, talk about behind their back, and you then see the person, is it appropriate to try to engage? But before we get into the actual crux of the issue, I will get your initial thoughts on what happened, and then we dig further into the issue. Because, as I said, in these kind of situations, we like to learn from it and take the lessons so that we can become better people in our various endeavors. So, in your view, BC, when you saw this happen, Tiwa Savage's, you're laughing because I get to use it. Tiwa Savage's position was that you shade me, you talk ill of me, you did this to me, and then you come to say hi. That was wrong and disrespectful. Seyi Shay, on the other hand, is that you said, what did Seyi say? What's Seyi Shay's angle again? You're saying that she just thought I was an agbaya for you to talking to me that way, and petty. That you're being petty, you know. So, in your view, what could have been done better? How could these two adults have resolved this kind of issue publicly?
Okay, so I personally believe that as long as they're adults, they have a choice on how they choose to resolve their issues. So I'm not one to say because you are as long as you are not a political office holder that was elected, you don't have any business with our taxpayers' money. I will not sit here and say this is how you should have done what you did because I am not wearing your shoes.
Right.
And I know that there are issues you could have with someone and you want to express, you want to vent. I wouldn't tell you not to express and not to vent. Anyhow you want to vent it. For me, depending on the side of the bed that I wake up on, there are some sides of the bed I wake up on and I wish you love and light and just take the highway and act like a queen. There are other times that I know that even queens go to war. I would look at you and call your mess up and try as much as possible to handle it the best way I can. Especially if I feel that we could resolve it. I'm someone who likes to express. Let us bring it to the table. Don't talk behind me and come to my front to pretend like all is well. So I wouldn't say, you're a public figure, you should not express yourself, find a way to act like a queen and pretend it's okay, then go inside to talk about it. If you had done that, we won't have anything to talk about today. So that is that. But there was something I noticed while that altercation was going on, the fact that she had to start bringing her child in and swearing about it. There's something they say in my place that as mothers, you should be very careful your utterances because you don't know the angel that is passing by. You don't know the spirit that is passing by. No matter how hurt you are, it's very important that you limit your anger to the situation at hand and not bring in external factors like swearing with a child. That was really, really painful when I saw that. So for me, it's about the lessons that we learn from this. So I wouldn't tell you, don't do it because you're in a public space. Why do I want to do it in a private space? Why am I pretending this is who I am? I get upset, I tell you, we trash it, we talk about it, and we resolve it. And I would appeal to people who know them. These are queens that are doing amazing in the music industry. Find a way to settle these people. It's time we start. We are going to have issues. We have issues. But we talk about it, we resolve it. The bottom line is that women need to start supporting each other more. And those people that are laughing and spooking them, you go this direction, it is not fair. Okay. Find a way to bring them together.
Let me get a few more thoughts on it. Yeah, go ahead.
So my initial thoughts when I saw the video was like, oh my God, who recorded this? Like, it is people at their vulnerable moment, these things happen. We display our humanness, something that I probably don't want everybody to see, but like this is who we are, and it now became public. I'm one of those people that I feel like time heals all things. If you've offended me, I move on. If I offend you, I have moved on too. So if I see you, I would want to greet you thinking all is well. So I would likely be a Seyi Shay in this situation who something happened a few years back, but I'm seeing you, you're looking good. Hello. I'm wishing you well, So I felt that she probably she was not expecting what she got. And that could have been any other person in that same situation. So first point is, I think we should learn to trash issues and deal with them and not assume that the other person has forgiven or assume that it is in the past. For some people, they can move on. For others, they can't. So learn to deal with each situations when they come up. Another thing that occurred to me during the conversation was a case of what BC raised. And I think that some people culturally curse and swear. That's their own way of showing you their sincerity. And they are brought up to swear with what they hold most dear. So for someone watching outside, they might look at it that, never ever swear while your children, kiniko. But for some people, that's their way to let you know that. And she was saying it in all sense, like, I am telling you, I have never wished you bad. I swear with what I hold most dear. And then she called her son and swore with her son. So for some people, that's their way of showing, I have no grievances with you. Some don't agree with it, so I don't agree with it. I feel that let your yes be your yes. If you don't take my yes, there's nothing I can say in this world that will convince you. Even if I swear with heaven and earth, you will not believe me. But for some, that's their own way of conveying it. We must use this to draw the lesson of, let's find better ways. Someone that trusts you will trust you. Someone that doesn't trust you will not trust you.
Okay. Mike, let me hear your initial thoughts on this before we move in.
Well, when I watched it, I first didn't even know who it was.
We're not surprised, okay?
I was like,
who is this one?
Why are they? So I went, I put my earphones, I was watching. That's Tiwa Savage, Then I was saying, I said, hey, kata. For me, it was an enjoyable watch. So whoever recorded it, just did it was entertainment for those of us who have no business or have no concern in their matter. I didn't even know they were fighting. It is that day that I knew they were. The one that they said Seyi Shay did, they have now brought it to the light because I didn't know about it. So, if you want to act like a street urchin in public and you are a celebrity, whatever you get is your own. So, if they decide to me, they decide to fight, it's entertainment for the rest of us who will watch the video. So, you must always realize that when I was younger, if you just jam my car small, I will come out.
Yeah, bounce out.
Ha! I will start to fight on the road. People will be settling me. God help you if I have security or one of my shine boys in the car with me and you jam me. Then you even make, I will come out. Now I'm older, I go back, I keep thinking,
I really love that example, though.
What were you doing?
I would never do it again. I would never do it again. I will think about, they will just use mobile phone to
record you.
Hey, there are many things I did that I can't say here. I can't say later. When I was
younger,
when there was no mobile phone, well, I will never try it again. So now, they grew up in the age of mobile phone. Yeah. So they know that they can be exposed. So it's either they wanted to be exposed,
or they didn't care.
They couldn't control themselves. But from what Tiwa was saying, on a lighter note though, you know, the people were tweeting that, did you see how Seyi Shay maintained her accent all through? And Tiwa was like giving the tush Yoruba inside the English, Yoruba inside the English. Or the like. But YK, I love what you raised. It's a major issue. And I think that many times people must realize that even if you are not a public, every human being is an influencer. And we have someone looking up to us. And that's my perspective of life. All of us are influencers and we have people looking up to us. And we must be conscious of how we behave in a way that we must remember that we might, in the next 10 years, would I like who I was then? Would I like how I behaved then? Would I want people to look at me then and say, this is how you used to behave? Having that consciousness in mind, the entire drama was not necessary. It was not necessary.
May I say that wait. I like people who are real. I like people who are themselves. I like people who, not just in their closet, but show who they are. Because that way we can predict you. That way we can say, this is who this person is. That way, if we are a troublemaker, please be a troublemaker with your full chest. Don't be a troublemaker, because what we have, especially in this sort of industry, is have people who sabotage, they smile in your face, and they sabotage you behind. If you hear gists, if you hear where they table your matter. So I don't condone such. I would rather you call me out, BC, this is what you did to me. Give me all the insults you want to give to me, and we will trash it out. Then after you do that, you maintain the friendship. And even if I'm not there, you can defend me. Now, for me to have somebody I feel, she's very okay, she's nice, she loves me, and then you go behind and block my contracts and block, I don't want that. So, not all of us will be quiet. Not all of us will take the high road. Right. Not all of us will say, I don't want to have this issue. Wait first. Now, wait first.
I agree. I agree that nobody will take it's not everybody that will. So that is why I say what they did is it's both of them. Nobody should complain that it is further for us to talk on the show. It's just for us to talk on the show. We have agreed that they should fight. If that's how it sweets their belly, fight it out.
Okay, now, so I want us to pack Tiwa and Seyi for a moment, because there are other deeper issues of friendship. I mean, let's talk about the fact that somebody hurt you, right? And both of you are not on good terms. Now, you go back, you backbite to talk about the person, because we all gossip behind somebody's back and do this and do that. Now, the question therefore is, even though you have stabbed this person in the back, and you see the person, are you saying, if you want to seize the opportunity to start a conversation, maybe we can retrace our steps, maybe we can become friends, and I want to come to you and say hello. I'm trying to see if you can even be warm enough. So maybe after you allow me to say hello, we can start a conversation, and then at some point, I can ask you for forgiveness for what I have done. We can be real friends. Maybe it's a start. So my question therefore, is it right for you to say, to totally block that accessibility for that person who hurt you to come to you? So she's hurt you, but she wants to say hello. She wants to come back into your life, and she's making an effort.
What if she's coming back with evil intention?
Well, so you then know. Your job now to assess.
Be wise.
If this guy is coming with an evil intention, you have a know it to know. But are we saying we want to block every reconciliatory approach of somebody who has hurt us in the past? That's the question.
Okay, so for me, I don't think that you should block every reconciliatory move that someone might make towards you. I believe that you should express yourself that I am not happy with what you did, but you should leave room for forgiveness and ability for you to move on. I also feel strongly that if someone has shown you their color, you should see the color, you know. If somebody has shown you that this is who I am, see the color. But as someone who has evolved over time and changed in many areas of my life, I would hate for someone to judge me based on who I was 5 years ago. And that's what we do. We are a judging human being. And we need to judge because if human beings did not learn how to judge, we will not be able to protect ourselves when we're hunter-gatherers. We will not be able to say that this is a lion, run. So we are brought up to cite something that looks like anything we've experienced before in our life and block it off. But we will also lose opportunities when we close our guard that tight. So I feel that conversations should take place. Reconciliations must always take place. Yet, when the case of there's a bit of, we must draw lessons from people that they are public figures. In the case of P-Square and their spouses, and somebody was saying, don't take sides on social media, don't pray for me online when you don't pray for me in secret. Here is where it comes through. So if you are the kind of person that you are coming to say hi to me, but it's not like you do not see my pictures online, you don't like, you do not celebrate my birthday, you don't do anything. So suddenly, you're not seeing me on the street and coming to greet me. There's a bit of hypocrisy in that greeting because we're in public place. So it will not look like I shunned you. Let me say hi. Maybe that's why the reaction will come through. But if you come and meet me privately and tell me, I believe that we are not on good terms. I believe that we think something is not right here. If we have that conversation privately, we can resolve it. But don't do ojuaye for me. Don't come because we're in an open place and then do high service for me. That's the part I don't like. That's what I don't like.
I would say that the sincerity of the approach is what I would judge. I'm not one to say, okay, because you've hurt me before, I'm going to. So it depends on how I want the relationship to continue. There are people that have hurt you, and you know that nothing, lie, we will never.
Yeah, you can't say never.
No, you can. There are people you say never.
Some people can. I cannot say never.
This person has blocked you. This person has been a scorpion to you. You are helping, they are stinging you. Never. But in that case, when the person comes to say hi, you will say hi, smile, but you know that's the end of the conversation. No, wait, now let me finish. You will know, wait. You will know, You will know that that's the end of the conversation. She could have just said the hi and moved on and not give room for any conversation. What she did, what I see it as is a cry for help. She wants it resolved.
Oh, that's Seyi.
No, Tiwa. The reaction.
Yes, Tiwa. She wants it resolved. She wants people to know this has happened, and she wants reconciliation. Yes. So she didn't just want to collect the hi, smile, and say it's okay. Because if she had done that, that means she has written her off, and there's nothing that can bring them together. So sometimes when people react, it's a cry for help that I need you people to wade in, because she's probably an emotional person. She's hurting, and she doesn't want to, there are people that like to cover things and feel like it's okay. So that is on that hand. Another thing I see is when people hurt you, when people show you who they are, you have two decisions to make. It's either you understand that this is who this person is and find a way to work with that person, bearing in mind that this is to the extent I would trust this person, or you go away from that toxic relationship. It's okay, YK, to go away from a toxic relationship. It's okay.
I just want to correct you.
Go ahead.
Because you are talking from the vision of a youth. I'm talking from an elder now.
Hey,
the sage.
60 plus.
Fire.
The sage is talking. Please listen.
Give it to me.
When you say never, never say never, because you do not know tomorrow. What if Tiwa Savage and Seyi Shay were in a place where it's just only two of them? One is dying. Will she say, because we have one beef, I will not help my fellow human die?
No.
Think about it.
You never know.
You never know. But at that point, she may decide to save her life. Seyi Shay might decide to save Tiwa Savage's life, or
the other way.
Or vice versa.
It could be many scenarios.
Never say never. You do not know. At this point, you know, if I quarrel with you today and we are keeping malice, tomorrow I will forget you.
We know you
I will still come and beat you. Then you just do.
Yeah,
How did you not beat me?
you don't remember?
Okay, we are fighting. I will not remember. But when I was young, I was a guru.
In keeping malice.
At keeping malice.
Yes.
But now, the older you get, the more you realize life is
Fickle.
so you don't. So when you are 60, come and sit down here and say, never. I never fight this. I'm telling you, your ideals will change the older you get. Seyi Shay and Tiwa Savage, tomorrow, they might start talking. They may continue their fight forever. Who knows? What if Seyi Shay has a child that wants to marry Tiwa Savage's child?
Mother-in-law Nollywood.
So because
anything can happen.
Thank
in
you,
this
Waiki,
world.
for you're right, because you can never say never.
Yeah.
And that's why it's always good for us to always open the door for reconciliation. But there are times where you need to hurt. Because I know the situation whereby you need people to heal. Because I cannot reconcile if I haven't been healed of what's going on. I need my own person to understand that I'm taking responsibility for the things I did wrong. Yeah. The things before I can come to you and say I want to reconcile. Let me assess what happened. Let me take responsibility for my own actions. And then when I'm forgiving myself for my own part in this,
come and
I
tell
cannot come to you. So maybe that's the point I want us to talk about. That when you are two people, two of you are having issues. Yes, you give time. But at that moment for reconciliation, is there a way for you to know if the other party is ready? There's somebody that had reached out to me some time ago that, okay, let's have a conversation. I wasn't ready for that conversation because I just felt that there was so much more, there was so much happening. But after a while, I was ready. And both of us had an adult conversation. And where you hurt me, I say. Where I hurt you, you say. And we reconcile. Yeah. So it's the adultness I want us to focus on because these things will happen between friends. People will backbite. People will hate you. People will beef you. But are we saying that once they do that, close shop? No. I want us to be sure that we have there has to be a way.
Of course not.
So in this situation, for example, if it seems Tiwa still is hurting about what you did to her, so what Seyi Shay could have done is at that moment you see her, you walk away because they're still standing beef.
And I think
she's not ready.
I think she did.
She's not ready to say hi. Don't say hi. If you see Tiwa and you think, I still want to have friends with this girl, maybe later on you cannot call her aside and then have a conversation.
Which is what I said,
don't
it
make
should be
it
a private thing, not a public thing.
Yeah.
But that's on one side. Like we can have that private conversation, not because sometimes when we can be vulnerable with each other when we are together, like not when there are other hangers on, people listening, everybody's recording what can be going on. There were like different angles to the video. Maybe the one you saw was not good. Yes. So, but like, having that one-on-one conversation is important and not Ojuaye. To be sure that you are not doing Ojuaye, both the person apologizing and the person that is aggrieved, it shouldn't be done public. So we know that we're dealing with this issue. That's on one side. On the other side, Mariah, we're talking about ideal cases of somebody goofed, like errors, human errors, like a little bit of selfishness. Somebody sees an opportunity and passes it to somebody. We're talking about like these little issues. There are deeper ones where you encounter evil people. Maybe not encounter them. There are evil people that just there's no rationale for the things they've done. That you cannot even understand that this is a mistake. It's not a mistake. You see, when the people do mistakes, you say, it's human being. Yes, there are just evil people who have just made a project of somebody's life to crush. And then if you realize such kind of people exist, it is wise for you to take yourself out. So let's not paint, because there are people that maybe they are married into.
Everybody's angelic.
Yes. Let's not assume everybody made a mistake. They didn't make, it's not a mistake. Some people did not make a mistake in their action. Some people deliberately, calculatedly take you out of your job, cause you to lose your marriage. Like they sowed the seed in your heart.
With your husband.
You know, there were deliberate actions that were taking place.
Those kind of people you walk away from.
There's no reconciliation. I've forgiven you, but for my own peace of mind, I bet just stay away from me. It's a deliberate. You did something. You were not mistaken. It was action carried out. So let's not confuse it. But there are many mistakes that happen. There are many things that it's not even mistake. It's just you that don't understand it.
Which one is deliberate and which one is mistake?
I want to answer that now. Taking it from where Tope has landed. You watch patterns. You observe. So it's good to be likable, rush into friendships anyhow you want, but observe patterns, because those patterns will keep showing up. They will apologize. Oh, it's a mistake. It's a joke. See, when you are around me, and it's not that I don't want you to be real, and you are joking, I pay attention to the jokes. Because from the jokes, I can pick out the jealousy. From the jokes, I can pick out the envy. From the jokes, I can pick out your intentions. You know, we can't read the mind of man. Somebody said that the heart of man is not open.
Show for face.
It was my professor in the university. The heart of man is not open to direct apprehension by the observer. I can't look at you now with your smiling face and know what you're thinking about me. But I can always guess or tell and follow my intuition by observing your patterns. So you do it today, you say, sorry, I made a mistake. Tomorrow, after a few times, you do it again. Oh, it was a mistake. I did not think about it. Hey, yeah, I didn't think about it. Next time again, once you do it 3 times, the same thing, I know that this is who you are. And if I can manage, there are some people that, you know that they are okay. They help you in some way. So they are not like 100% bad. They have like 70% good. But that 30% is very deep. I go say, okay, can I manage this relationship? Can I work with you based on the fact that you are good? Can I overlook this? So how do I protect myself in this relationship? If I'm somebody that talks too much, you realize I will stop talking or saying some things when you're there because I want to protect myself so that I don't go and hear it tomorrow from outside since you cannot control your mouth. Do you understand? So you find ways to handle that relationship. But you see, when the good is 20% and the bad is 80%. Sister, take a walk.
me, I'm an elephant. I forgive, but I don't forget. So if you like offend me, do anything, I will be your best friend. But at the back of my mind, I know, oh, this person has done this, so beware. Take it easy. Don't be foolish. So that is my own doctrine. Be an elephant. Forgive, but don't forget. An elephant never forgets. But she may play with you.
Okay, I'm told I have a call. Good morning. Are you
Hello.
there? You're live.
Yeah,
Go ahead, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm totally on anti-Y2K on her issue.
Okay.
On her perspective to this issue. Because I remember that when I was in my 20s, I was like, what kind of year fight am I fighting? What kind of, it's too trivial and petty for me to be fighting. Compared to fight, it's not reasonable. Now there are some fights that I just look at, I just walk away. Oh, please. And then there are some other issues that I'll be like, okay, this one is, I think it's necessary to trash because this relationship is important. Yes, in every relationship, friendship, marriage, relationship, or whatever, or a workplace relationship, there will always be a conflict. But it's in your place to know the kind of pattern or way he or she is thinking. I leave an open space. Okay, let's talk about this. You call him, how are you? And let him or her know that you are genuine about sorting this thing out. How are you? How was your life? Are you fine? Is there anything you are going through? Many of these conflicts are bordering on stress from other relationships. You will not know, and he's not taking it out on your own relationship with him or her. So tell him, and then it's from the information you get, you will not be able to trash out this issue. It's everything that leads to confrontation. I had to high blood pressure today. I don't know how to teach you. There are some things that I don't fight over. My health and my mental health is more important than some necessary fight. So I'm with Y2K on this issue.
Thank you very much, Dr. Moyo. Appreciate it. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take more calls and comments from our Facebook. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on this issue of friendship. You know, when do you walk away? When do you try to resolve? How do you assess and know, okay, this person wickedly orchestrated or it was a mistake? How do you know this? Because some of us, someone like me, you cannot love me. Sometimes I never see it. I hardly ever see it. So go ahead, please.
So I don't read signals like that. That's the area of VC's strength. She will read it. I just usually depend on grace that Yoruba will say, that's your good heart would always make room for you and protect you. And I think that many times, sometimes we try to, I have someone that has become, I feel like she's a bit paranoid in searching for, she's been beaten, people have disappointed her, and so she's become like, everybody, hey, no, this person was looking at me somehow, this person said something somehow. I felt that body reaction, and I'm like, hello, calm down. You are now suspicious of everybody because of your past experience. We also need to move into that place where we understand that, I'll go to Yoruba proverb again. That means if you are closing your eye for evil people to pass, good people will pass and you will not know. So it's about growing in our emotional intelligence level. And I think that all this conversation actually boils down to emotional intelligence, actually. How well we're able to handle our emotions.
Ebony, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hello, I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Ladies are calling on this issue.
I'm really excited about this conversation. I watched that video clip yesterday. It was funny for me because I just noticed that Tiwa just kept on her Yoruba dialect, and Seyi Shay was just trying to be the bigger girl, in the video. But I want to pick something from what Auntie YK just said about when you grow. You're expected to drop some things as you grow. Yoruba say, you understand? But someone like my own father, my biological father, he's over 60. I'm telling you, there's an issue that still came up just 2 days ago. We're still on the issue. He's over 60. He's worse than he was when he was younger. He used to be a one-man army. If he destroy, he will destroy without looking at anything, without considering. He's got a family.
He wasn't become paranoid.
My dad is kind of lives life for himself. He just does what satisfies him, even if he's putting another person in harm's way. But we felt that he will grow and outgrow it, and then at some point he will start putting his children first and all of that. But I'm telling you, he's over 60. He will still be telling you that no one tries rubbish with me. If he tries, I know where to go. I know who to call. And all of that. So I don't know.
All right.
Can I just take some
yes, please. Some
YouTube comments?
Please.
We don't have tweets. Lawa Runke says, if you really want to make peace with me, there are better ways to do it. Not you coming to me acting we cool. That's wrong. Johnson Azoma, Lawa Ronke says, it's funny how people actually forget they hurt us. Shay might have actually forgotten what she said to her in the last, while Tiwa, on the other hand, hasn't forgotten. Emeka Johnson, I love Tiwa's reaction, but the part I detest is her swearing on her child. It is hard. Eddie A says, it is hard to apologize when someone confronts you. Bisi, you're on point. Friday, there are many because
let me take this call.
I'm on YouTube
and I'm on Facebook.
Hello, good morning. Are you there from Abuja?
I read the comments. So.
Yes, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
All right. I like Bisi's part of what
position
stand on this issue. Yes, her position. Sometimes you watch patterns, you understand. I just like Tokwe said, it's not all the time that it's not everybody who can go by their intuition, you understand. But I like what Bisi said, that go by patterns. Sometimes when people joke about certain things, you get to pick what they actually have in mind. Do you understand? Personally, I have this issue with my father, that my father postponed my wedding date about 3 times.
Wow.
You understand? And that was not because it was just because he had issues with my mom. You understand? But that was so painful that I couldn't come out of that. I was hurting for a very long time. You understand? It was so emotional for me because imagine changing the date the first time. Okay, why are you changing the date? Or your mother-in-law is not around. Okay, why are you changing the date the second time? I don't think it's not. And these are dates that people have already booked tickets.
Wow.
You know how painful that really is. So I spoke to him once, only last year, and this year I only spoke to him once. You understand? And I'm still in that place of hurting. So I understand what BC said, that sometimes you just put the person, it's not as if you won't say hello, but you put the person as an arm stretch and give yourself time to heal.
All right, thank you very much.
The real issue is, should she have greeted her? If there is a fight, should you just ignore each other, or should you?
From this experience, me I've learned. The person that me I have not resolved issue, when I see her at a party, I'll just waka. Let her go. Let me go and slap my face. Because I mean, my own case is different because I'm not backbiting. I'm not stabbing anybody in the back. I'm not saying anything. I'm not negatively bringing them down in any way. But out of respect for myself, I don't want what happened to Seyi Shay to happen to me. So even though me and you are not speaking to us, if I see her at the party, I'll just walk away. Because I would rather have a private conversation with you where we resolve it. So when we see at parties, we can say hi. Because I think that's a lesson.
That's
if anybody should learn from this. That this whole thing is maturity. That's the word.
Maturity. You're like me that you have forgotten that you are fault.
Depending on the grievance, how heavy it is. There are some things
if not heavy, you don't go forget. Why?
Yeah, but I would say that time heals all wounds.
Exactly.
We should give ourselves time to heal.
But this girl has time.
Yes, so
so somebody now said
she has not resolved it.
Yeah, somebody said that she did not say anything. That maybe she should have said something then.
At the time. But you can't tell them when to react and when not to react. They need to get to that point themselves. So probably when you are hurting like that, you may find a professional to talk to. Maybe if you're not ready to have a conversation with the person that has hurt you, find somebody else, a third party. Not somebody that will side one, that's not objective. You can go to a professional. Yes. I want to heal from this. I want to be in a place that I'm ready so that I can have a proper conversation with this person. Until you get to that point, anything can happen.
Let me ask you this question, please. What happened, Gogo? What caused the fight?
I beg. It's not really. Sometimes.
Please just tell me now.
There was a beef song. That's something that, like, when all this hashtag something, this challenges. So herself, Tiwa and Seyi Shay and Victoria Kimani did a song and they were dissing her in the song, and the song trended.
Sort of
so
It's now a case of...
Tiwa didn't respond.
Yes, Tiwa didn't say anything.
It was quite all through. So the beef happened, you enjoyed the... They enjoyed the fame and the traction.
Like
2
years.
In 2 years. So they enjoyed the traction, a lot of noise. Tiwa was mute. So that other one happened. You now saw Tiwa at the stand. You're not going to say hi.
And she was expecting, yes, she was expecting. So, you know, when social media things happen, you expect that when those people... Like, you get a lot of backlash. People come and talk to you anyhow because they have access to social media. You're not expecting that when they see you real life, they should keep up that energy. And then they come to the...
she exploded.
So, if I were Seyi Shay, I mean, I cannot be Seyi Shay because I don't know how to beef anybody. I don't know how to stab anybody in the back. But the truth is that, guys, I want us to come to a consensus on what the right approach is in this kind of situation.
We've already agreed now. Private conversation.
Yeah.
Don't have that conversation in public. If you see each other, dodge each other in public because you don't want the drama that might ensue. Yes. So don't put that person on the spot. Whether you are aware or not, if there was an issue...
Somebody answered her. They said, when Seyi Shay went to greet her, she answered. Then about 20 minutes later.
Because the thing had to sit down on the head. You know, sometimes things fly around, it never settle. So it took her 20 minutes to process that. Why did I answer this person?
That
energy. Exactly.
Yeah, he said, what if Seyi Shay did the high to trigger to trigger the other side in these views? Oyeko Onmolara says, in my opinion, the reason Tiwa's outburst must have happened is because she never said anything when the matter happened originally. Someone else is just saying, I like all of you ladies. I'm on Facebook. Obiajulu, I'm loving you more, I swear. I observe the jokes and the way you talk about others behind their backs.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really, really... I mentioned it here now. I said somebody, a lady said she did not give someone a job. And the reason she didn't give person a job was because the interview was for a healthcare service. And the nurse now came in and said, I treated Chief Kineko, Chief Kineko, I treated this person, and mentioned their conditions. So it was in a mentoring program, and one of the things I would say I learned from that program was discretion. that there are some things that will never happen to you because you are not discreet about what happened before and all of that. So the next example came up in the Bible, stories of how this very shocking situation comes up and you must be able to hold it and keep it within yourself, calm, you know. So even in the way we relate with issues. So we've already resolved this issue, Mariah. If you have beef with anybody, resolve it privately. More comments.
I want to read Abdul Rashid Lawal. He says, "Ẹni tó ṣu lè gbàgbé, ẹni tó kó kò ní gbàgbé."
Yeah.
The offender may forget sooner than later, but the victim may never forget. Bilikis has found us on YouTube.
Woo! Andrew Stratham is also somewhere. He said, okay, I've seen him. He said, I think the beef that happened between Tiwa and Seyi Shay is just that very petty. Life is too short, Joe. And you know what? Women don't forgive themselves easily. They will have it in the recess of their mind. Andrew, that's not true. We are loving people. We are nurturers. People actually forgive, yes. Okay, also says, Tiwa Savage and Seyi Shay should have let us have free entertainment. Wig pulling, hands up in the air, as if they just don't care.
They stopped them. They stopped them. Did you see the video? So they were holding them now. Tiwa Savage wanted to go for her, you know, and she was boiling. So that 20 minutes that she sat down, she cooked it. Wow. She cooked the oha.
She got herself ready.
It was her boiling point. She just said, you? What, me?
How dare you? Trisha Raymond says, problem was Seyi didn't reach out privately. And she also filmed the encounter, so it looked planned. And Tiwa was unprepared. Yeah, I don't know. That's what this person is saying. Tiwa was unprepared and reacted genuinely.
I think that's the real
lesson. So it's the motive behind the approach that makes you react.
Yes. Don't come and be loving me on Instagram.
Can I read Bilikis? She says, yes. We can maintain a healthy boundary with someone who continuously hurts you to protect yourself. She has given many comments, but I can't find them right now. But there are a lot of comments. I don't think we have time to read, do we?
No, may I quickly say something?
Let's wrap up in a few final comments.
In resolving issues, it's my father-in-law always says, when trouble is squatting, you can easily push it down. But when you allow the trouble to stand, you will have to battle it to come down. So when issues happen, let's not let it linger for a while. If you can, find a way to address it as it is hot. That way, you say your mind, I say my mind, and we come to a conclusion. If we are going to a cuckoo breakup, we know on time, break up, and everybody would move on. But if we let it linger, we now have opportunity to start hearing, this person said, that person said. We have third parties who are coming in to gossip. And if you are one of those third parties that you see friends having issues and you put your mouth because you don't want to sit down and make peace, you go and whisper to this person, you go and whisper to that person. It's a bad thing, stop it.
Obiajulu, I don't know how Tiwa Savage could have responded to if what
in a more mature way
is the video, the record, the video, or whatever they did. There is no way she could have responded unless by calling the same thing.
Or putting a call through to her.
I don't know if they were friends. I don't know about their relationship. I just know maybe she has not run into her
since.
Yeah. And this was the opportunity. And then she now greeted her. Like I said, she sat down. She greeted her. She answered her when she first greeted her. She allowed
let me address this thing.
Because she hasn't addressed it. So I think you need to find a way to solve your inner turmoil so that you do not disgrace yourself when you go out. 100%. Because
that's if you have shame. Or some people don't have shame.
No, because there are some things she did that people don't agree with, like swearing with her child. You know,
true.
And people will be commenting and will give, because if she genuinely had that resentment, there is no way it's not going to come out.
We have to wrap up, but
you know when you have to pray about it, that may I not get into the place where I would say something that I will regret. May I not do something that I will regret. And it should be a daily prayer for us.
On that note, we have to wrap up. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, Mariah.
That's all we can take on this show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.